welcome back to Cigar Time. We're still friendly, right? We're ever so friendly show all about premium cigars. Welcome back. Those of you who watch our show over the years know that this panel is a little bit different. The only common thread is, I guess, me. On my right is George Sosa, a industry legend for the past 20-some years, who I've known during that whole time. He's our managing partner in our Florida operation and our Florida stores, of which currently we have 2, and hopefully by the end of the year we'll have a lot more. To my left is Matt Samp. I said it correctly, right?
Camp.
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 Oh, I thought it was my hearing. Who is a great customer of ours in Sarasota, has been for some time, and I thought we'd do something differently today. I can't remember the last time we had a consumer on our show, and it might be never. You may be the first.
Well there.
Hopefully not the last. But Matt is very knowledgeable about cigars, been smoking them for how long?
About 12 years.
Okay, well, that qualifies you. It's only been about 60 for me, but that's all right. I remember when I could actually afford them. Well, that's another story. And George, you've been smoking a long time.
Long time.
Long time.
I was just thinking about camp, that we can always remember it by "Hello, Mother." Hello, Father.
Yeah, Camp Granada. Yeah. Alan Sherman.
May he rest in peace.
May he rest in peace.
I haven't heard that song in years.
Yeah.
You're going to hear it more now that I know your last name is Camp.
Why did I think it was Sam? I don't know. Well, I only know you as Matt. I don't, no last names needed. Not in the cigar shop. Well, we're coming to you from Florida, from our second Sarasota store, the one with the nice big lounge, and we have beer and wine for your convenience. Store's open extra late to accommodate everybody, and we're very happy to be here, and especially this time of year, we're even more happy to be here because it's probably cold out there in the north, and it's, what did you say the temperature was? 80, 79, 80?
Today is the cold day. We're at 78. We're going to be in the 80s the rest of the week.
Oh, that's more like it. God.
Beautiful.
70, I don't know how people tolerate it. It's only 78. I mean.
You would be the whitest guy in Florida right now.
Okay. We'll go with that. But I burn easy, so I do change.
Well, the good news is the day that the lights went out, that we had you to walk around and lit the room.
I can get insulted better elsewhere. But there's a lot of love behind those insults.
Yes, there is.
Yeah, the only man who actually saw me drunk. That will never, ever happen again.
Yeah.
But that's another story for another day. I think we already did that story. All right, today we're going to review the Onyx Bold. This is a great cigar that was blended by A.J. Fernandez, who has the hot hand for many years now. It's made by a company, Altadis USA, which is the iconic manufacturer of brands like Monte Cristo, Romeo y Julieta. What else do they make? Upman, H. Upman.
And the higher end, the Espada.
Espada. Well, that's Monte Cristo. Yeah. And many other brands that too numerous to name. And the Bold, it's a Mexican San Andreas wrapper, Nicaraguan binder and filler. And like I said, it's blended by A.J. Fernandez. And we were very fortunate last year. Unfortunately, the pandemic put a big hurt on it. But we were the national chain for launching this cigar. I personally like the cigar, and we'll discuss that obviously. But I think it's, do you guys actually want to smoke, or you just want to sit here and talk?
Yeah, smoke.
Okay, so we can light the cigar.
I've been smoking it. I started before you guys, I'm sorry.
You did, you did.
I was just looking. They don't make plastic bottles like they used to. You were talking, I'm doing.
I know, it's, you know.
That's a great smoke.
Yeah, it's always been a favorite of mine. I think this is like a true medium body.
Yeah,
Maybe it's
but
slightly
a lot
more,
of flavor.
Yeah, that's the, as those of you who've been watching the show for a long time know, I don't go for strength or power, I go for taste. I like a good, tasty cigar, I don't care.
And that has it from start to finish, it's
think you're
very
right.
nice.
I think you're right.
You know, while you're lighting your cigar, just mention something. You can attest to this because you've been doing this a lot longer than I have. Once upon a time, no company would fess up to using Mexican anything. And now everyone knows that Mexicans make great wrappers. Not too crazy about the fillers, although my friends at the Tehran family has been making some cigars as of late with Mexican fillers that are very good. But boy, you can't beat a Mexican wrapper. I mean, Brazil comes close, but I still like Mexican better.
Well, let me tell you something. Why do you say that? Back in the 90s, early, toward almost the end, the Tiamo cigar, which was never a real expensive cigar, it was a moderately priced to lower priced cigar, and that was all Mexican.
It was
By the same company, I might add, Altadis, and still made. Tiamo still made. It was like, I think, in the top 5 brands sold in this country. Now, obviously, that doesn't exist anymore, but Mexican cigars at one time were very, very popular. And, you know, it's sort of, Nicaragua came on 20, 25 years ago and sort of drowned out Mexico to a large extent. It certainly drowned out a lot of things that were coming in from Honduras. And of course, several companies really brought Dominicans back in the fold. And George said, you know, the wrapper is unique. It has a unique taste. A lot of manufacturers nowadays are using Mexican wrapper.
you can't find it.
No.
I mean, right now
Scarce.
there's a wrapper shortage.
Yeah, there is a wrapper shortage.
And another thing, talking about the old days, and you can attest to this, you'd see these power brokers when I was a kid, and I used to see these bankers and everything. How about Candela wrappers?
Yeah, never.
They were all smoking Candela
That's what I smoked
wrappers.
as a kid. I smoked nothing but green.
Now, some would argue, oh, but they make Candela this. Yeah, but in a big picture, it's less than 1%, I would guess, of cigars
You may be high.
have Candela wrappers. Back in the day, my rich uncle would smoke Candela wrappers on the Grenadiers. That's why he was rich. He was
the
so
AC
cheap.
Grenadiers, yeah.
But he would smoke those Grenadiers, and I remember they smelled god awful. I mean, the only thing that was worse was, I shouldn't say, because
No, don't say it.
Yeah.
They may be sponsors.
Yeah.
But when
But
I
they're
was,
Italian,
yeah,
and they're
I
small.
Get it. I get it.
and they smell like amaretto.
I know. I get it.
I got it out.
That sponsor's gone. Okay. Anybody else you want to work on? Now, when I was a kid in the 50s and 60s, I would say 95% of the cigars were green. They are all what they call AMS, American Market Selection, which is a Candela wrapper. And that's what I grew up. I think the first brown cigar I smoked was a Cuban. And that was called English Market, EMS, English, which still continues today. So cigar smoking, even in your 12 years, has evolved mightily. Back 10, 15, 20 years ago, Churchill was the largest selling size. And that's been replaced, and I think I know the reason, by the Toro size, Robusto, and what they call the Magnum or 6x60 size. Because I think the smoking rules and regulations have forced people, you know, to smoke more outdoors because you can't smoke typically in a restaurant. You can't even, a lot of bars you can't even smoke in. So I think the long format or Churchill size or double Corona size has been replaced by the smaller size because other than golfing and outdoor activities, which in certain parts of the country you can't do year round like we can here in Florida. So I think that has cut down the amount of Churchills and increased the amount of fatter, shorter cigars, which everybody nowadays makes like crazy.
You ever see old movies, 50s, 60s, you'll see that they were smoking preferitos.
Yeah,
They had the closed foot
Yep.
with a big center and then a closed,
And they were thinner cigars.
correct.
So
Yeah, I mean,
things change.
when I remember smoking cigars before the cigar boom, then the cigar boom, you used to think a 60 ring size was gigantic.
Gigantic, yeah.
I mean, people look at you smoking not that I smoked a lot of 60s back then, but they were Now we're talking 70, 80,
It's
100.
nuts. It's completely.
You know, some of these cigars, you light it up and the Cardinals get together to vote for a pope. There's so much smoke coming out.
That's pretty good. Yeah, the cigars have gotten definitely fatter. I tried to smoke, and it was a pretty good cigar too. I won't mention the name, but I tried to smoke it was like a 64. Wasn't even a 70 or a 60. It was like a 64, and I had trouble with that. You ever smoke a fat cigar?
Oh yeah, I love the big ones, the 60s,
Yeah, you
the
do. I
70s,
remember.
and
Yeah,
80s.
you
Yep,
do like.
yep,
Yeah.
yep.
I don't know. It's first of all, it takes forever to smoke. I like to move on.
Yeah.
Some of those cigars
All day,
last
all day affair.
Yeah, it lasts
Exactly,
longer than
yeah.
my first marriage. I mean, it's
But you got better since then.
yeah. I'm not married.
You're single. Yeah, exactly. Oh boy, Matt, you haven't been smoking as long as George or myself, but what have you noticed in your 12 years of smoking that has changed for the good, for the worse, for anything?
I see that obviously the bigger sizes, more and more the bigger sizes are coming out because that's what I tend to prefer more than likely. And the Mexican San Andreas wrapper, which is one that's come out that I really enjoyed.
Yeah.
And Kim recommended it to me my first time when I was in here, and I loved it. And the Mexican San Andreas wrapper is one of the best I feel that's out there now. And they've come a long way with them.
Yeah, that's evolved.
Some of the 80 ring gauges are a little much.
Yes.
They are. I prefer the 60s, but a Mexican San Andreas and a 60, for some reason, is one of the best smokes I've ever smoked. The Onyx Bold makes a 60.
And I think somebody's making a 90.
Yep, I've heard it. I can't remember who.
That's an inch and a half wide.
Yeah, that's too big. That's too big.
How do you fit that in the average mouth?
Oh,
Well, I know where this is
not
going.
the show.
Maybe I shouldn't have said that.
I'll tell you later.
No, the visual has said it. I just want to remind everybody, which I forgot to do on the other show we did, since we're here in Florida, and since you can't get this show over the air on satellite or cable, we have many thousand subscribers to our YouTube channel, which is CigarTIME TV. Right, Mr. Director?
Yeah, go through the Cigars webpage.
Oh, yeah, go to our
That's
webpage.
the easiest way to go.
At cccigars.com.
.com.
Right. 3 C's.
And cigars.com.
And you can see the show a few days after we,
a couple days after it gets loaded up,
Yeah.
and then and you can watch it there.
Yeah, I'm not sure everybody heard you, but that's all right.
Well, you can repeat.
Yeah, I heard you. So you'll be able to see your local legend, Matt, in all his glory,
What's his,
and his cigar shirt.
Jim's cigar. Yep.
what's his last name?
There
Camp.
we
Hello,
go.
mother.
Oh, here we go.
That song's gonna be stuck in my head all day long now.
I got
All day
poison
long.
ivy.
Do you know all the words?
I do. If I sit down, I can. I used to listen to that song a lot. Although Cuban kids don't go to summer camp, that's more of a Jewish kid thing. I don't know why Jewish kids get sent off to camp. The only way I made it to camp was as a counselor. My parents wouldn't pay to send us to camp.
Okay. I sold pretzels and soap suds to go to camp.
Yeah,
And then I got terminal poison ivy.
Yeah,
2
see?
years in a row.
it's a Jewish thing. We wouldn't go.
Oh, God.
Well, imagine going to camp with the last name of camp.
Well, I can imagine.
I mean, that was brutal.
You got-
That was brutal.
You got beat up. Yeah, okay. So what else are we doing here?
I don't know. We're talking about cigars, and we're talking about your recent move to South Florida for the winter.
Yeah, my recent move.
Yeah, you just got here. We've been working on you for 2 weeks.
That's true. I don't know if I can go another 2 weeks, but I'll give
You
it.
seem to be handling fine. And Mike behind the Mike behind the camera,
Our large studio audience.
the COO of Cigars.
Yep,
The lovely Miss Kim is playing the register right now.
ringing up sales as we speak.
But I've known Art for over 20 years, and I really catch myself screwing up and calling you my partner. It's more than that. You're my friend.
Yeah,
We
but-
just happen to be in this partnership that, I think it's a blessing. There's not a day that goes by. I mean, though some days I lose my mind, but it's been a great ride. I mean, it's only the end
just
of
the
our
beginning. I mean,
and it's just the beginning. We're looking for 2 more locations and
Yeah, at least.
great customer base. And For our Pennsylvania audience, please, if you come to Southwest Florida, you're always welcome here. We got the point system like you do. We got the 24-hour lounge if you're a member. We serve beer and wine. It's a little easier here in Florida than it is up in PA to pull that license off. So
Yeah. And our studios, we have our third partner.
our third partner is quietly sitting in a studio, giving us moral support.
And probably looking over the financials. He's looking
Yeah,
at something.
looking at the financials.
Are we still okay to stay open another week? Can we back down? Okay.
Well, that's not reassuring.
Yeah, do we have to work a little harder? So please support us. Come to Florida and spend more money. Now, we're actually doing quite good down here, and we're very happy to be here. I've been coming to Southwest Florida off and on, first, obviously briefer stays for the past 15 years, and I was on the East Coast for 20 years before that. And just one man's opinion, I prefer the West Coast much better than the East
Yep.
Coast. You lived in
I
Miami
agree.
forever. Where'd you grow up, Matt?
I grew up in Buffalo,
Yeah,
New York.
Oh, it's a little warmer down here.
It is. I've been down here since '92, so I've been down here longer than I was
Yeah.
in New
I
York.
didn't know you were Canadian.
Pretty much.
It's a pretty nice cigar.
It is.
Yeah, you know, everyone has their time in the spotlight, and right now AJ's the one.
He's got the hot hand.
You know,
Okay.
you've seen this. You know, someone's hot till the. Not that I'm saying it won't happen or it will happen, but I'm saying sometimes someone has that hot hand, and everything they touch,
Yeah,
you know, they just do a nice job.
they do. And he makes, not very well known, but he makes some of the cigars behind some of these boutique lines.
Many boutique lines.
So I don't know how he does it, how he makes all these blends. He makes them for all, you know, for General and Altadis, the two major companies. I don't know how in the world he does
You
it.
have to see the factory. He built a factory down there that he has to stay busy because that place, it's the largest rolling gallery, you know, besides the big boys, obviously.
Yeah.
But he's really built a facility that's pretty impressive.
Buffalo. So you've been down here so long, so you have no memories of buying cigars and up in
Oh,
Buffalo.
no. But
you're
I
too
did
young.
travel up there, you know, a few years ago, and I can't believe the taxes and stuff that are going on up there right now. New York State's got to be one of the worst.
Well, New York, California, New Jersey, some of the Northwest states, Illinois, you know, there is a common thread. I'm not going to get into politics, so we're not going to discuss that. But the two states that have no cigar tax, just coincidentally, are where most of our stores are located. We have one store in New Jersey, the two stores in Florida right now, and the 17 stores or 16 stores in Pennsylvania, the one odd store in New Jersey. So we try to be in a consumer-friendly environment, a politically friendly environment, and I think that's good for the consumer, which is the blood of our business and the blood of our existence.
Just to show you how friendly they are, we actually have the mayor of Sarasota and one of the commissioners are customers here. I mean, they couldn't do anything for us on the building process because there's just so many businesses and so many residences being built. So it's just the nature of the beast with permitting. But they're pro-business. Luckily, they're pro-cigars. You know, as long as we do all the right things in code enforcement and everything, we're left alone. So it's a great environment.
Even as you said before, even the rules for liquor are much more consumer friendly and business friendly down here than they would be in any northern state for sure, especially Pennsylvania, where they still operate under the antiquated state store system. There's no free enterprise in the sale of spirits. Beer and wine, they've gotten better at, but hard liquor, forget about it.
Can you name anything that the government runs that's run better? I was reading the other day that California is failing in the marijuana industry. I mean, you really, really have to screw up not to be able to sell marijuana in California.
Well, I can tell you why. The taxes.
Yeah.
They've taxed the legal marijuana so high
Yep.
that the street, you can buy it on the street much cheaper. I mean, this is, like you said, how do you screw up the, you know, what was once a very illegal business and still is in large parts of the country. How do you screw that up when
That's-
you have a license almost to print money?
Yep.
I don't get it. I know on a previous show we talked about your experiences in Europe, and and Europe and the next country I'm going to name, to me, are two separate entities, even though this country is partly in Europe, partly in Asia. How was it like to do business in Russia, cigar business in Russia? Because I know you spent a lot of time over there.
Yeah, Russia went from being one of our major markets to being one of the smallest markets almost overnight.
Wow.
Yeah, Putin is not big on smoking.
No, he's a health nut.
Yeah, he's a health nut. And the only way you do events at a cigar shop, you can't smoke in a cigar shop.
At all.
At
Anywhere.
all. Now, bureaucracy at its finest. The only way you can smoke is after the store closes, one of the members has to rent out the store to have an event. So the member rents the store for $100. The retailer gives the member the $100 back as a refund, and you have a cigar event after working hours. If someone knocks on the door and wants to buy 5 boxes of cigars, you can't let them in. Technically, you can even sell cigars to people in the store. They ring them up the next day, because when you're doing an event, as most of you know, my time as a rep, we're out there, we like interacting with people, but we also want to sell the freaking cigars. So it's kind of tough to do an event and there's nothing for sale. So they won't ring it up for accountability purposes. So that's how ludicrous it's become. So it was one of the major markets. You can make a cigar expensive enough for them to smoke. I mean, they like to flash money. As you know, those that are well off are very well off.
Yeah.
So, but right now they're hurting. They're really hurting because it's a business. Now you can drink yourself to death and that's okay.
That's fine.
I mean, they got vodka pours everywhere. And I mean, even when you're at the gym, they got vodka and caviar. But cigar smoking, cigarette smoking, not so good.
That's a shame.
Yeah.
That's a big market too.
Big market, big. Well, they're still doing it, but now to circumvent the taxes, they go through black market, which is what, in Cuba, things get done. They just get done down the side markets.
You said bureaucracy.
Yeah.
Bureaucracy.
Again, let's
Kill
take
it,
it back. What does the government do better that we can't do?
There's not enough
I
time.
don't care what color,
Yeah.
red or blue. If the government gets involved, it's going to be worse. You can go to prohibition. Didn't stop drinking, but it sure made the mob what they are today, or helped them.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's a shame. You're right. It's hard to think of anything that runs better by government intervention as opposed to private enterprise. And that's what makes this country so great, our democracy and our capitalistic system. And hopefully we can get back on the right track soon. So again, I don't want to get into politics because no matter what you talk about politics, you're going to tick off
50%
Yeah.
of the people.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly. When you come to our stores, especially the store we're actually filming this in right now, and you hang out, and I know you have certain buddies you hang out more than others necessarily, but what do you find, without mentioning names, we're not here to knock competitors or anything, what do you find is the difference between coming here and going to other stores, which you must have been doing before we opened?
Oh, yeah.
You
Oh,
weren't
yeah.
waiting for us
Yep.
to open for 19 years, so I mean,
Yep.
what do you find?
It's the atmosphere, friends, camaraderie. Everybody gets along. The staff is pleasant. The staff is nice. They'll help you if you're new at cigar smoking. They'll help you. It's just a good bunch of guys. It's like a family atmosphere, and that's why I like coming here and hanging out. I mean, this is a
And you
great
do
place.
a lot of that.
It's a fun place to come.
You do your business here?
I work out of here a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I always hear you making deals on the, talking on the phone,
Yep.
on the computer, and doing all that stuff. So
Yep, I enjoy coming here.
Yeah.
This is the thing that's
Home away from
saved
home.
my insanity. From coming here, this is the place that I come to get away from all the crap, from the hang out, talk about whatever.
yeah. And this is, many 27 years to be exact. That was the environment I wanted to create at that time. The old-fashioned barber shop of the future.
Yep.
And I think we've done a very good job, and the legacy continues mightily down here.
Yep.
Because as I visit the two stores, and we get into them practically every day, I mean, I see, you know, our friends hanging out. I see business being done. I see a lot of joking going on, football games being watched, go Eagles. And as a storekeeper, so to speak, this is the best it gets. And,
It is.
You know, we need to make a profit, so we try to sell the cigars at a fair price. We have our own products like our value packs and private label stuff and closeouts and stuff to balance everything out. And I think over the years we've really got it down to a pretty good science. And with the people that pursue this every day, I mean, I think we have a very, very good cast of characters. And some of them are genuine characters.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
For sure.
Well, one of the things here that I've never seen in my travels, I've never been in retail and I've never certainly had multiple stores, but you've seen it with me. You'll say, hey, there's Bob. And then we go to the other store and goes, oh, Bob's pulling into this store.
Yeah.
You know, normally a guy camps out at a store and people, but it's our customers just go from one store to the other to continue and seeing the guys over there and saying hi, and even when Mark's there, they go over to say hi.
Even Mark.
The other thing
Rob's
too
the
is,
same way up north.
Yeah.
the other thing too is you see the owners every day. George is here every day.
Yeah.
You guys are here when you're down. Craig's in here Sundays. So
Don't
that
forget
makes
his
a big
twin.
Yes,
Todd.
Todd. You know, that makes a big difference too when the consumers see that the owners are here. You know what I mean? They genuinely care about the business, care about who's coming in, know everybody's name. All that stuff makes a big difference to a
Kind
consumer.
of reminds you of that old show, Cheers. Where
Exactly.
Everybody knows your name.
Yep.
Except me, I can't remember names to save my life.
And don't forget, I blow the leaves every day.
He blows the leaves.
Yes, he does. Yep.
We get leaves in the stores. Okay, so we've BS'd enough here. Why don't we put a final review and a number on it? George, why don't you lead off? You've seen the process before.
Yeah, I tell you, the best review I can give it is I have a pretty big humidor in my house, and about 50 of the cigars that are in the humidor are Onyx. They're very good. And I don't have them there 'cause I get them for free. I buy them from the store, and they are good cigars. Really good. I give it a 9.5.
All right, that's
I
good.
still think for the money they cost, they're very affordable for that quality.
Kim gave me all the information except the price, but I know these are very modestly priced.
Modest, yeah.
Yeah, they're not expensive at all. Matt?
I gave it a 9.5 as well. I like it. It's a very flavorful cigar. I'm thinking about adding a lot more of these to my humidor because from start to finish, it is a good cigar. And AJ Fernandez, what he's blended, I mean, this thing is unreal.
Well, I can't really add anything to what's been said here. I give it a 9.5 too, because again, very modestly priced, great taste, great cigar.